some work right here. The people right here, the jumping. Yo, positioning. Let me talk a little bit about that in terms of just real life experience and then in terms of boxing, all right? In terms of real life experience, where you are in life, where you position yourself, how you work, how you prepare yourself for where you have to be in life, really determines the outcome of what happens next, all right? Now, to be real with you, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of preparation. It takes a lot of work to get yourself in position where you need to be, or at least they want you to be. So it's a lot of groundwork. For me to get out here early in the morning, get myself in the position I am in right now, currently during my day, having the opportunities I have during the day, had to do with how I prepared the day before. You know what I'm saying? It didn't just happen overnight. It was a lot of people right now just doing it for rush hour. You got people that are looking around. I deal with, what I'm dealing with right now, very busy intersection. How you position yourself, there's so many different factors involved in positioning yourself. There's a lot of things that involve in positioning yourself. It just don't happen overnight. You know, people, it doesn't take years to position yourself where you need to be. But the point behind it is this. You have to look at several different factors all simultaneously and do understand something else. For me, Most High comes first. So it's really the Most High that helps me naturally position myself where I'm supposed to be at the right time. I'm going to give you an example of something that happened today. And I just so happened to be in the right position to be able to effect that change. Besides being in a position where I can get certain linking up with certain people at certain times, an accident happened right in the intersection there. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it on the camera here, but at the intersection at the traffic lights there was an accident that happened today. An ambulance collided side on with a vehicle. The vehicle was going through a green light. Ambulance was doing a siren, and for some reason there was miscommunication between the vehicle and the siren and the ambulance, and the ambulance collided into the vehicle, plowing into it at around 55 miles an hour, moving the vehicle about 1 meter to 2 meters away, slamming into the door of the vehicle, injuring the driver of the vehicle. Now, we just happened to be on site when that happened. We were able to call 911, get a rapid response, and the people will be able to be attended to. Now, the point behind it is positioning. Now, let me explain something to you guys. Since the beginning of this year, I've seen or I've heard about 3 accidents in the same area where I sell. Okay? I'm going to explain something to you guys so you understand what I mean when I say positioning. Sometimes you get warned. I got warned 3 times. So where I am now is not where I was when I was selling. Yes, where I was selling, was very lucrative and etc. But it was also very dangerous, very risky because of where I was positioned. So I repositioned myself away from the intersection. Right now I'm about 2 meters, 20 meters away from the intersection right now to avoid a collision. If there's a collision out there in the intersection, at least I have some kind of reaction time to be able to get away from it. I wanted to see how fast these vehicles are going by us. Those vehicles there, a maxi taxi, what looks like a postal vehicle, and then some other vehicles that were just not going by. They just flew by me here. I'm not joking to you. At somewhere around between the vicinity of 55 miles an hour and 60 miles an hour. Okay, things moving on this what's called the bus route. They move at around about 65 all the way up to 100 miles an hour. And imagine this. There are cars doing that, vehicles doing that. Imagine if a vehicle loses control. What kind of reaction time would the bystanders have? Because we're not further than 1 meter away from that traffic. We're on a pavement, it's an expanded pavement, but we're only 1 meter away from that traffic. It's very, very dangerous where I am. In fact, in terms of deaths on the bus route, the bus route is claimed, and usually when a pedestrian somehow gets picked up by a vehicle on this area, the pedestrian doesn't survive. Okay? The pedestrian is usually dead on instantaneously dead. Okay? I know several people who have died on this bus route. I just want to show you again the speeds at which the vehicles are going out here. This vehicle's so it's a very tricky situation to be in. You know, the main road's different. The main road, or what we call the Eastern Main Road, that is where vehicles go significantly slower at speeds of 35 to 25 to 35 miles an hour. You can make a mistake there and not legally be, you know, not be lethal. But on this particular courseway here, I want you to see that the courseway, the courseway is not very far from where I am. So this is a dual lane courseway in which vehicles go somewhere between 65 and 100 miles an hour, depending on the emergency. If it's because it was a courseway designed mainly for military protective services and the buses to travel on, but the maxi taxis and some private cars travel about it. As you can see, it's pretty busy. And as you can see, the traffic that travels on here goes at 65 plus miles an hour. So some vehicles in emergencies can clock over 100 miles an hour. Now, just to give you guys a perspective of how dangerous here is, there's still some after effects of an accident that occurred here. Not today, but sometime about 2-3 weeks back, where a police vehicle, which was blowing its horn, came to this intersection here. And Exhibit A, if you look at this tree stump here, I don't want to bring these people into the picture, but this tree stump here shows you the effects of this traffic light here. This is the base of the traffic light. There used to be a traffic light right across there. There's no traffic light there anymore. The base of the traffic light is here. Now, for you to understand what I'm saying, how dangerous here is, see that pole right there? That pole used to be in the ground right here. That pole was dislodged and it was laying across here. And if you look, you still see the marks of the base of the vehicle where it made contact with the ground. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that vehicle was moving at 90 plus miles an hour. Huh? All right, bless, man. Very good. Very good, man. You go and you do your thing, brother.
Come on,
every day. Not today, bro.
Just one maybe, but not a big one, a small one.
No.
Smaller door.
Bro, you still didn't pay me for that last set of stuff.
Yeah. Tomorrow I come and screw up everything. You know that?
Bro, I'm not doing any more trusting from here on in. All right, here you go.
At 20.
Yeah, that's great. All right, bro. Yeah, so what I'm saying to you is that vehicle hit the ground. Let me explain to you what happened. Okay, I wasn't there, thankfully. That was a spot where I used to sell at. Okay? The vehicle, this is the third time, the spot where I used to sell at within less than a year. And the beginning of this year was 2 incidents that happened at the beginning of this year already. And there were several incidents that happened on the bus route this year, and several of them were lethal. But thankfully, those 2 incidents that I just spoke about, and this one I'm about to speak about, were not lethal. The police car hit a maxi taxi after swerving from another vehicle and ricocheted and headed towards the direction I just showed you, knocked down the traffic light, leaped over. Excuse me for a second. I have to do something else. Supervisor? 5? Orange juice? All right, 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I got to move fast. Orange juice. That's not orange juice. Strictly. Orange. Gotcha. Yeah, man. Here you go, my brother. Have a good one. That's it. Yeah, so, yeah, that police car leaped over the pavement, cleared the pavement completely, smashed the traffic light out of the way, so the base of the traffic light hit the tree, landed inside of the grounds, the Etihad grounds. The Etihad grounds is this grounds here. Okay? This is the grounds. And if you look on the side of the grounds here, you see some chairs and stuff, right? So the police vehicle is it basically at around about somewhere around 90 miles an hour smashed into the pavement, ricocheted up into the air, and leaped over the drop there. There's like a stair dropping into the Etihad ground, landed into the Etihad ground, smashed onto the culvert over the drainage system, smashed into the pole in the Etihad ground, dislodging it completely out the ground, and also smashing into a chair, into a bench area, which is a stone bench, mind you, destroying it. Now they repaired the stone bench, and there was a lady on the stone bench. She also got severely injured in the process of that. Several people had to go to the hospital. Of course, the police car was completely totaled. I have pictures of it. Well, at least my friend has the pictures of it. It was a horrible thing that happened. Now, why am I saying all of this? It's a warning to me, because that's in exactly the area I sell at. And then today, there was another accident that happened in that area. And since then, I've been trying to advise people to clear the area. See, like this lady right now, she's a good friend of mine. I don't want to put her on camera. I don't want to put you on camera. I'm streaming right now, but I want to just tell you that this area is very dangerous. So when you want to come and wait for a taxi or maxi or whatever, it's better if you wait somewhere around there to clear out the distance from the junction. When you're crossing anywhere around this area, do walk like maybe a little further back to make your crossing. Yeah, because it's very dangerous. There was an accident there that happened today. That's the, I think, second for this year, because there was a police vehicle also that jumped over the whole thing here and crashed into there. And that was at 10 o'clock at night. I'm always around my area, so if you notice why I put my stuff back there, yeah, to make sure I have enough reaction time, anything happens, I can, yeah. Yes, so have a blessed one. Right. Yeah, so I'm just informing a lot of people about this because it's very, very dangerous on the bus route, and I really try my best to see people safe. I was really kind of distressed and distraught at the gentleman who got in the accident today. He had to be wheeled out on a stretcher, you know. And these things happen because, just to kind of give you guys an idea, again, this is all about positioning, and then we'll get to boxing in a minute. It's all about, you have to understand, it's all about, excuse me for 1 second. Right. Yes, so it's all about positioning yourself. And positioning yourself is something that's not only about making necessary adjustments to reposition yourself and therefore understand how you're going to go about doing X, Y, and Z, but it's also about preparing yourself, listening. You have to be able to listen to people. You have to be teachable. You have to be able to not be hard-headed and feel that you can do your own thing and that's it. No man's an island in this world. It's very dangerous out here. The more counsel you listen to, the more people you listen to, the more people you talk with, the better for you. That gives you a much better informed decision about things. So I was talking about the key word, positioning yourself. And we're going to talk a little bit about positioning ourselves when it comes to boxing. We're going to talk about positioning ourselves when it comes to the boxers themselves. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, I didn't get to talk about it yesterday, but I really wanted to talk about it yesterday, was how humble these boxers are. You can't be a boxer in boxing and not teachable. You can't learn any skills. You can't develop as a boxer if you're not teachable. And that goes not just teachable in terms of you might be able to do everything your instructor tells you to do while you are training for a fight, for example. But when it comes to the actual fight, you might even do it in sparring. But when it comes to the actual fight, you don't do anything. You stop listening. You stop listening to your trainer for whatever reason, whatever. And the reason I say you have to be teachable is because being teachable is not just cognitively absorbing what someone tells you and or listening to people. When we say teachable, we mean if you see this as a value or virtue in something, you're now going to exert an effort. You're going to exert energy purposefully to implement the things that you have now ingested cognitively or otherwise. So there are lots of people say, oh, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. I will go do this, that, and the other. And they really mean it in earnesty, and they never get to do it. For some reason, they put up different excuses why they haven't done it, why they haven't executed. You, as a person, if you are really truly teachable, you will execute when it is important to execute it, the things that you have been taught. This is very important to understand. Oh my God. What is she doing? I don't know. A lady just ran across the road. The light was about to change and just jeopardized herself. See, that's another thing you have to understand. And this is a very dangerous area. You don't make mistakes up in here. You don't do that. All right. So anyway, you have to understand that being teachable is a different set of, it's not just picking up things quickly. It's not only being willing to learn something from someone, but it's having the discipline and consistency to execute it right down to the point in time when it matters the most. Okay, I only have this. Okay, I got you. It's only grapefruit now. All right, so that's what being teachable is. Teachable, anybody can listen. Anybody can listen. Anybody can say, I understand. Anybody can tell you, yeah, all right, man, I'm going to go do this, right? But I don't mean they'll do it. A lot of people give me lip service about a lot of things, from different businesses I have to people telling me they would pay me. You just met a guy telling me he's gonna pay me X amount of dollars. I was like, I ain't trusting no more money out to nobody. Yo, check this out. They're going at 80-something miles an hour, ladies and gentlemen. 80-something miles an hour. And that's like a routine thing here. Very dangerous area, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I can see them, they can see me. I'm way out of the way, but still. So anyways, my point being that you have to be teachable, right? The other thing, so this is something about boxers I really admire about boxers, is that they're usually extremely teachable people. And they're teachable on a different level, you know what I'm saying? They literally go out there believing in what they've been taught, believing in the trainer and what they say, trusting the trainer, and even in the clutch, when things ain't going the way they're supposed to go, they trust the trainer. That's being teachable, and that's being humble. You have to be humble to do that. You can't be not humble. And I was listening to an interview with Chris Shields. I think it was what's his name, Marcus from Fight Up. Was interviewing Clarissa Shields, and he was talking about the experience with the MMA must have humbled her, and she was saying, no, I'm already humble. You can't not be humble and be teachable. You get what I'm saying? You have to trust people. You trust in people. You have to be able to follow someone, even when things don't seem to be working out right for you. You have to follow them and trust them. And the only way that's going to happen is if you're a humble person. If you're a proud, pompous person, you're going to take over. You're going to doubt. You know, it's the same thing like with religion, with the Most High. A lot of times we get too proud, we get too pompous. We don't trust the Most High like that. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, you know, we fall short. We stumble, we fall, we make mistakes because we just don't trust the Most High like that. We're not humble like that. Like I said, you have to be teachable. You know what I mean? That's where you fall. If you they say a haughty heart comes before a fall. Absolutely, because if you're not teachable, if you can't, not just about listening to people. Listening to people is cool. That's a certain degree of humility to listen to somebody, even if they're saying something that's really dumb. It seems dumb to you, at least. You listen to them and you're looking for value, even if you think they're talking nonsense. They may not be talking nonsense, but you think they're talking nonsense until you've proven them to be what they are. You know, you have to be able to be humble to do that. You can't be, you know, and it's not about, nobody cares about, how do I say it? Nobody cares about your well-being like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to care about your well-being. If you really love yourself, if you really care about yourself like that, you say you care about yourself, you'll be humble. All right? Now, there are people out there preaching, you know, people need to be humble, they need humility, and then those are the very same people who need to be humble. You know what I'm saying? Humility is not a downgrade, first of all, and humility is not about trying to humble people. It's not about that. Humility helps you to see the world as it really needs to be and trust people who need to be trusted as you really need to trust them. That's the bottom line. You know, you can't see the world for what it really is if you're arrogant. I don't care how skilled you are. I don't care how good you are. You get more information, you learn more things, you grow as a person, and you're able to see things for what they really are if you're humble. It's just what it is. If you got any ear of arrogance inside of you, you are limiting yourself from accumulating information that you need to move forward. You can't see things properly. You can't assess situations properly. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So, for example, yesterday the key word was obey, right? Why would I need to obey? Why do I need to learn to obey? Right? It seems so beneath us as adults, particularly as grown people who can reason and think. Why do I need to obey? Well, it's because at certain times you ain't got time to think. You just have to obey. You just have to obey. When you're going with a flow, for example, again, obeying has something to do with trust. When you trust somebody or you trust a certain situation, you're going to obey without thinking. It come like a reflex action. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with, oh, you need to do this. It's like somebody's putting a belt over your head or somebody's trying to beat you down. It's not about that. All right? Obedience has very little to do with punitive or punishment. Obedience has to do with sometimes you cannot cognitively process something, and you can't get the understanding for something. You just have to do. You just have to execute. It's not a time to try to think or assess or no. You just have to move, and you have to trust whoever it is. So boxers sometimes a trainer's telling them, hey man, you just need to do this, and the boxer would tell the trainer, well, I don't see it, I just don't see it, and the trainer's like, trust me, just trust me on this. You're not able to see. It's like you're going blind, right? You should go blind. Like in boxing sometimes, you can't see that, you know, if you stick with the jab, if you stick with going to the body, just, you know, the guy look like he's protecting his body really well. You know, your coach can see that you're breaking him down, right? You can't see that, right? You can't see that. To you, he's protecting his body really well. I'm putting my knuckles, when I'm Obedience is God. I ain't seeing nothing like he playing real good, you know, we call it, he covering up real good, you know what I'm saying? He pretending like he ain't hurt real good, you know what I'm saying? He his bluff is really good, you know what I'm saying? So, you not seeing that. Coach tell you, go to the body, dig to the body. Don't study that, dig to the body. Right? Say, okay, coach. Okay, coach, I'm gonna do that. You obey and you execute. Okay? You don't understand. In your opinion, it ain't working, but you do what the coach tell you to do. Right? Okay, coach, dig to the body. You say dig with the left hook, dig with the left, right? Dig. Round 3, round 4. Dude counting you. You're getting hit. Stick with it. Alright, cool. Dig it to the body. You're taking some punches though. Taking some punishment, right? Feel like you're losing the fight, right? Round 10. Dig left, feint up top, you come with the jab, you dig to the body. Dude fall. Oh. You drop it, right? Come back around. Round 11. Feint to the body as if you're going to dig to the body. Come with the left hook up the top. You put him to sleep. You straighten hooks. You win the fight. Obey. Obedience is not about trying to be a servant. Obedience is trusting. Trusting. It's about trust. You are not going to think about nothing. There's nothing to think about. Soldiers obey orders. Nothing to think about. You just execute it. You're not thinking about. You trust the guy above you to direct you in the right way. When you are in, let's say you move into a dark room, right? You can't see nothing, right? Can't see nothing. And you are counting on somebody on the phone who can see the room using infrared to direct you where you need to go. Turn left, whatever, right? You are obeying that person. You are following their instructions. You trust them to direct you correctly. That's obedience. Obedience is not about doing something that you can see the result for, or you can reason through, or you can cognitively understand. When we obey, say for instance, the higher power, Most High God. Most High God say, go do this now, right? We just obey. We don't obey because it's punitive or we feel servants or something. No, it's because we're doing something we don't see. We're walking through faith. You're doing something that you don't understand. You don't need to understand at that point in time. And it's something you can't see, you know, to make sense of. You just do it. You obey. And it's very important because at certain points in the network of the kingdom, pieces need to move so that other pieces, oh my God, what is she doing? Yes, my dear, don't do that, don't do that. Spare your life. Right. Yeah, so you can see, because certain pieces need to go certain places on the board to strengthen up other pieces on the board when you're doing warfare. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to reason out everything with the Father, you can't reason out everything, bro. Slow everything down. You just have to be used. Like I said, in another video, we talked about flow. It's a flow thing, right? It feel normal, it feel natural, because it's a flow, right? Most High ain't gonna make you do something that you're not supposed to naturally do. Not gonna put on you more than you can bear, right? So obedience is very important to get you in the right position to unlock the door for somebody else, in the process increasing your level of Godship. Because we're all cheering up the Most High God. Your Godship, so that now you execute things you don't fully understand, but on a level that's higher than you are capable of understanding anyway, so that you can get to that level, so you can understand it later on, so you can go to a higher level. You know what I'm saying? And all of that is the same thing that happens in boxing. In boxing, it's the very same thing. Boxing is a doing sport. So if you obey your coach in a real fight, in which there are real consequences, and you win that fight because you obeyed, you're going to get the understanding after that. And then, when you obey and you trust your coach, or you obey or trust whoever may be shouting something outside the ring to you, who you may trust, like a mentor or something, and they shout something to you, and you execute that, and you go to the next level, it only improves your boxing more and more and more. You dig? Because all things in life require at some point a movement into the unknown. What a lot of us are afraid of is stepping into the unknown, where we feel there is no security. But in fact, in the unknown is more security than staying without growth in some comfortable situation that you got comfortable with and stop growing as a person or an individual. And I love boxing for that, because and I love boxers because at least the boxers who want to take on anybody, anywhere, any place, anytime, they're going for those challenges. They're going for the unknown. But in order to get themselves in position, they understand they need to have massive preparation. You can't be in position if you're not prepared for being in position. So that's the prerequisite. And that's where you do all that training and all that sparring, all that conditioning, all that work that you do in boxing that nobody really sees. Some people cover it, but a lot of it is behind the cameras. A lot of it's not flattering. A lot of it's not sexy. A lot of it is not, something that the average Joe would want to do every single day of his life. To be honest with you, right? But that's the preparatory work that's necessary. It's necessary to get the person in position. Once you're in position, you have to be humble. You should have been humble all the way through anyway. Because what boxers go through, a lot of people don't know. Boxers get knocked out. Hey, man. What's that? Oh, God. Y'all are too funny. You are too funny, brother. You're too funny. Y'all be laughing.
No, I hope it's not documentary, man.
It's not documentary. That's stream. I'm streaming. I'm talking about boxing. That's it, big man. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Right. So, as I was saying, man, they straight up funny up in here. Yeah. So, that was one of my driver partners. All right. One of my driver partners right there. Yeah. So, anyways, he said. By the way, he said this is a documentary I'm doing. What you doing? A documentary on here? I'm just streaming, bro. Just streaming. But yeah, I was saying anyway that I was saying that yeah, you have to be humble, man. You have to be humble out here you know, don't get twisted with what boxers do. Pay attention to this. A boxer is only going to make a whole set of noise. They usually make a whole set of noise when they have an upcoming fight. You ever notice that? Boxers don't make no noise otherwise, outside of that. When I asked if you heard Floyd Mayweather say anything in an interview or anything, he ain't saying shit. You know why? He ain't got no upcoming fight. He ain't got no upcoming nothing. Right? Teofimo Lopez, he be chirping, and all of a sudden he goes silent. Right? All these boxers, they're only going to chirp to get that loud noise, that feedback, that profile, so people will look at their stuff when they got a fight. They ain't going. You gonna hear Deontay Wilder say squat, right? You're not hearing that because guess what? Guess what? They're some of the nicest people in the world you'll ever meet, right? Because they're humble, they have discipline, right? Some of them have tempers, but for the most part, they're humble people. Have to be humble people, right? And some of them, anytime you get too big-headed in boxing, you're gonna get brought down because you get blind. The prouder you get, the more arrogant you get, the blinder you get. So anybody you see who's surviving in this sport and been doing well and have a long legacy and all of that stuff, they generally are humble people. Roberto Duran's one of the humblest guys you'll ever meet. He got a reputation. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's a humble dude. All of them. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. All right, you don't get to those levels by being arrogant, man. You may be confident in your skill and stuff, but you're not arrogant. And that's what Floyd was trying to explain to people. I'm confident in my skill. I'm not arrogant. I'm not cocky. There's a difference, right? Nothing wrong with speaking with a certain degree of confidence in what I'm saying. You know, or confidence in what I'm saying, because I know what I'm talking about, because I've been there. I walk that road. So that's different to putting people down and trying to show people that you're the best and you know, everybody else is crap and all that kind of thing. You hear them say those things, that's just what we call shit talk or smack talk. They're just talking trash talking. It's called trash talking as well. It's not to be taken super duper seriously, but fans take it super duper seriously, and we trash talk each other. I even trash talk people sometimes, right? I'm just trash talking. I mean, I bring my facts behind it, but I'm just trash talking. I'm not hater or anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no. So you have to be in position, and to be in position means you get the opportunities. You get the opportunities to do X, Y, and Z. You do it. You do it. You know what I'm saying? You get the opportunity to do something. You step out and do it. And listen, I'll tell people that straight up. Don't be afraid to step out into the unknown. Don't be afraid that if an idea comes in your head, to execute it. You know, another thing that's kind of sad is we don't even obey what God put in our hearts to do. A lot of times we're afraid. A lot of people are afraid and scared to step out into the unknown, take on something that maybe they've never done before. You know what I'm saying? To do things that are uncomfortable initially, but then get comfortable later on with practice and time. You know what I'm saying? And it's only because, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Let me disagree with you. The only person keeping you back in this life, ain't nobody keeping you back but yourself. What limit you gonna put on yourself? I mean, I don't care where you are living in the world. Once you come self-aware of what you're capable of doing, God damn. You be flying. You be flying on this thing, bro. Dude just punched. He was already going at 50-something miles an hour. He punched. He blew up to 80-something miles an hour right there. Yeah, but I was just saying, I I don't care what anybody said. That punch through the light. God damn. Yeah, as I was saying, things are getting wild up in here. Calming down a little bit now. They're coming to halt. Yeah. They should be punching through this joint. Punching through this joint. They think it happened. I mean, it was really punching through the joint. Yeah, having said that, yeah, what was I saying? I was saying that, yeah, there's no limit as to what you can do. I know people are getting limits today. Ninja, there ain't no limits to what you can do. You're capable of all kinds of things once you got health and strength. And you just have to get over the fear, right? And yes, it's difficult to move from one level to the next. You know, the system is going to work against you. You're going in a different direction. So obviously, the system will like to keep you in place, and people are going to tell you all kinds of things. Okay? But you can't. You have to listen to that voice inside you. If the idea came, then it is executable. And you have to find a way to execute it, to make it a reality. And you can. Because if you got the idea in your head, then believe you me, you can also execute that idea. Okay? I don't care what idea it is. It could sound like a real far-fetched idea. If it came in your head, then it can be executed. The execution might take a little while, because it's, you know, life is not cookies and it's not a fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? Good day, man. But if you stick with that idea, you are not phased, and you go humble to people who may have walked in a similar way to what you are aspiring to, and you get counsel and advice from them. Okay, you got to go. You have to find people who may have implemented, or may have thought about, or may have done some of what you are thinking about as an idea. Because you will find those people who have the expertise and skill and knowledge to implement that idea. You're going to find them, but you can't stand up in a hole by yourself all alone. You can't do it. You can't. You have to get out there, and you have to chase it. You have to chase after what it is that God put in your heart to do. If you just sit around, you know, nothing's going to happen. You have to make it a reality. You have to manifest it. And whatever it takes for that to happen is what you have to put in place. That's the preparation to be in the right position. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with boxing. A boxer decides he wants to become world champion. You're not going to become world champion just by sitting by yourself and sparring with one teacher. No, you have to go moving around from one camp to the other. Sometimes you have to be a sparring partner. Sometimes you got to learn, and the only way you're going to learn is to put yourself in position and meet people who can carry you along the path that you need to go to. You know, ain't nobody you sit on your haunches, and you just sit on your haunches and you do nothing. Ain't nothing gonna happen, right? And you gotta be humble. You gotta be able to not just listen to people, but sometimes you have to be able to obey. Meaning, you literally gonna trust this person and execute what they say, regardless of whether that thing makes sense to you or not. It's not about cognitism. Good day, sir. Not about whether It's not about whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. Okay? You just gotta obey. Some things are debatable. Some things are up for discussion. And some things are so time sensitive, they're not up for discussion. They're just up for execution. That's why I said, you know, a boxer, Sean Porter, for example. Sean Porter said, you know, he wasn't going to do certain things that his dad told him to do. Cost him his Terrence Crawford. Right? It's not about whether you done this sport so long that you feel you could do this, that. No, if the formula works for you and it worked for you many a time before, you got to stick with it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Right? And that's the thing with this world. Us. You ain't gonna obey somebody you don't trust, right? You're not gonna obey somebody you don't trust. Ultimately, in the end, you're not trying to follow that person. You may do it under duress for a minute or two, but you're not gonna obey somebody you don't trust, right? Just what it is. So you have to be able to trust somebody to start to run what we call the execution file. You want to execute from there. And God knew that with Jesus. He knew you had to trust him first before you would obey him. You had to believe on him, as they say, before you would do anything. That's why he did the works. The works show, and people chased after him for the works to show he was trustworthy. Right? I don't understand human being and human nature. We ain't gonna just trust somebody. We got free will, right? So we ain't gonna just trust somebody like that. So similarly, a boxer's not just gonna put his life in a trainer's hands he just met. Not gonna do that. I don't care how good a relationship he has. He's not gonna just put his life. He's not gonna trust the trainer so much that he's gonna do whatever the trainer tell him to do, even though it seems to be to the detriment of his health and his life. He's not just gonna do that. You gotta know the trainer. You gotta trust the trainer. You gotta build a relationship with the trainer. Or the same thing with real life, right? You ain't gonna be able to put yourself in position for whatever it is that you're trying to pursue or whatever it is you were born to do, unless you trust people. You're gonna have to build some real strong relationships with people, because at some point in time, you're gonna have to obey them. You ain't gonna be able to see what they're seeing. You just have to trust them and obey them blindly. That's not gonna happen if you don't trust them. It's not gonna happen. And no man's an island. We all need each other, and we have to connect with each other. And with these extensive networks, that is what is going to help us to survive as humanity and as a human race in the future. Because trust me, very soon, machines are going to be doing exactly what we're doing and more. And we will be redundant and expendable. Then, when the human race is not necessary, y'all better have some connections. Y'all better have some connections. And they intend to purge us and continue life as if it's normal, just like how it is here. So it's not supposed to be something that makes front page news. We just gonna get wiped out. Get wiped out. Okay? And things are gonna change up, and machines are gonna be there, and people will just be dying suddenly and getting wiped out. A harvest for organs and stuff for people who pay a pound and a crown to get stuff that they want for themselves. So these little rules that we're giving here is for those who survive all that. And you ain't gonna survive all that by yourself. You're gonna need a network of people. That's the real talk. I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but it's right around the corner. right around the corner. Okay? We see what's happening with Israel and Palestine before our very eyes. We see crimes against humanity before our very eyes. Y'all better wake up. Because they're coming for you next. They're coming for you next. And they broadcasting it for the world to see what Israel's punitively doing to Palestine, to show you that they don't give a damn about humanity. And they putting the finger up to everybody and saying, you can't stop us. I'm going to kill out as many Palestinians as I want. You know what that Palestinians are? It's you and me. We don't have no intrinsic value. Once you don't have no more monetary or intrinsic value to these people, you expendable, homie. They're going to wipe your ass off the planet. I don't care what you are, what you profess. They don't care about you. They'll wipe you off the planet. So that's all I got to say. Yeah. All right. So you beautiful people all over the world. I got love for the peoples. I was born on a day where you're supposed to have love for people. Good afternoon, my wonderful people. Yeah, peoples. Understand? The life that we have right now is precious. It's special. And it ain't gonna last. Things about to change. Okay? Things about to change. So I would say to some of you out there, love life for what it is right now. Enjoy what you have right now, because it's not going to stay like this. It's just not. The lady laughing in the corner there, you ain't going to hear those laughs anymore. They about to wipe us off the planet. Okay? Just being real. We're talking about boxing, I know. I just have to tell y'all a bit of truth. Way how they moving with Palestine? And how the media and everybody moving with Palestine? Y'all, if y'all ain't get the memo, hey, watch me. Let me tell you how mean they are. They're actually incarcerating, torturing Israeli citizens. They're coming after Israeli citizens. They're saying that the Israeli citizens whose family members have been kidnapped by Hamas are for Hamas. You ever heard? Because they're protesting. Yeah? Because they're protesting that the Israeli army, there you go. Blessings. That's big man. She's going up the road. Because the Israeli citizens are saying, what about the kidnapped victims? What are you doing about that? They suddenly became enemies of the state. And guess what? Police clamped down on them. Police started arresting some of them in Tel Aviv. Y'all wake up. When your own countrymen become your enemy, and they're calling them pro-Hamas people. The state is calling them that. Leaders of the state, the head of the state, Netanyahu was saying that about his own Israeli people. They don't care about you. They never did. None of them. They all pretend like they care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. You feel because you got a little job, you getting paid, $20,000, $30,000 a month. You think they care about your ass? You give a damn about. I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that. I want to get that to your nugget. Michael Jackson said that back in 2000 and whenever he got killed. Dude hold the whole Sony library. He had the Beatles catalog. They killed him. In his last and final album, he said, what I want to really say is they don't really care about us. If you for the peoples, they don't care about you. How hard is this to understand? This ain't rocket science, because they're not trying to be subtle about it no more. Okay? And that goes for the leaders of your country. Unless you are in South Africa, Netherlands, the Dutch, or Brazil, or one of them countries. And even then, a lot of the leaders of the world today, they don't bow down to God. They don't bow down to the Most High. They bow down to Baphomet. I'm just being real with y'all. They do human sacrifice on a daily. Okay? They eat the sheep. The Lord put them as shepherds of the sheep. And hold on a second. And they've been eating sheep on a daily basis, like wolves. So, if y'all want to defend some leader of government, some politician, y'all getting tripping it up. Y'all better start doubling up and looking out for each other. Y'all better double up and look out for each other. Because guess what's going to go down? Those same people you defending, they got a get out of jail free card. They making sure their ass survive this. And they with the aristocrats. They with the big oligarchs. They with the big business. Because big business is what's running this world right now. It ain't you, it ain't me. Okay? So if you want to side, guess what I'm selling? In my country, the 1% run business. 1% right. It's a Syrian. Okay? I'm gonna show you something else. Think I'm playing? I want to show you guys something. Coca-Cola. Big business. Even as a small businessman, I can't avoid it. I could do my own water, or I could talk about Penguini over there. You know what I'm saying? Which is a small businessman trying to make a change. Which is local. But you can't avoid them. You can't avoid these people. They intertwine in our lives, and they want to pull the plug. Best believe. They don't want to be feeding us water, taking care of our health. They was doing those tests for them, so that they could live long. They could have good health. They don't care about you or me. They want to wipe us off the map, y'all. Okay? We take up too much of the air. We breathe too much space. We use and consume too much natural resources as far as they're concerned, and we're not controllable anymore. Okay? As passive as we are, we're not controllable anymore. Okay? So, the usual routes of entertainment, the usual propaganda from the news, it don't work no more. Okay? People become too aware. They're aware that things are not proper. They're aware that there's corruption from the lowest level to the highest. You know what I mean? Here's what it is. Okay? Here's what it is. So I'm just saying, get yourself in position. Okay? Because you're going to have to you're going to have to network with some people who you consider not so, what's the word I'm looking for? Open your horizons, widen your perspective. Talk to people you wouldn't normally talk to. You know, do it now. Time waits on no one. Don't just stay in your own little bubble, in your own little sphere, comfortable. Talking with the people you usually talk with. No, you have to open up that sphere, because if you don't, you're not going to make it. You're not going to survive. You're not going to be there. You know? Just saying. And you know. Alright, this is what you need in the building. I said a mouthful. I'm still here. I'm still on YouTube. You know, they try to cancel off my previous channel. It's back up and popping. There's some features on it that are not working, because I was talking about Free Palestine. I was talking about, you know, against Warner Brothers. You know, Warner Brothers Discovery right now, you know, they have a lot of sway. I heard from Sil Abdul that Warner Brothers Discovery just fired someone for being pro-Palestinian. I guess they will fire you as well for being pro-Hamas, of which I am tending towards now, seeing that Hamas seems to have a case. You know, I'm not saying that they are good, squeaky clean people, but they seem to have a case for what they were saying. And there's more truth coming from Hamas than is coming from the IDF. I can tell you that. Israel is categorical liars. They've been lying straight through. And a lot of people becoming disillusioned. A lot of people are realizing the truth of the situation. A lot of us who didn't know about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict like that. I remember my dad was pro-Israel, and you know, he was like, yeah, bomb the crap out of them and stuff like that, because he thought that Arafat was a bad guy. Now we learned that Yasser Arafat was actually a good guy, and he made a lot of concessions, you know. So, man, shit. I'm just saying, bro. You know, we need to understand, you know, to obey, put ourselves in position, in the correct positions, so we don't get, you know, obliterated when the time comes. And I'm not talking politically, I'm talking spiritually. I'm talking developmentally, in terms of mentally, that you don't get obliterated. If you gotta be on the front lines, you gotta get destroyed physically, no problem. Don't trip about that. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm what you need. Peace to everybody. Oh yeah, I'll talk about a fight that could be made that I heard somebody on a certain channel talking about was Subriel Mateus versus Regis Program. That's a good fight. It's a good ass fight. I would love to see that fight. Regis Program versus Subriel Mateus? Absolutely. Subriel Mateus hasn't fought a major marquee name. Yes, Regis Program is coming off of a loss. Devin Haney being dropped. But I would still love to see that fight. That's a fight I think Regis Program can actually win. A bounce back fight. It's a tough fight in a way. But Program is a really tough guy. Subriel Mateus is also a tough guy. You know, he's a fighter of attrition. You know, got a good threshold for taking punishment and still dishing it out. So I would love to see a fight like that. Mateus versus Regis Program is a tremendous fight, and a fight I definitely would love to see. outcome of that fight will be, but that's a good ass fight. Another fight I want to see is, I would love to see David Morrell versus David Benavidez. If Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to take on David Benavidez, then David Benavidez should move on to face David Morrell. Now, what I'm hearing is there's some talks. I don't know how true this is. This is a rumor going around. There's some talks between. They said that the promoter of David Benavidez, I said they're in talks to face David Morrell. That's a hell of a fight, and that's a fight David Benavidez could win. You know, because David Morrell don't got a whole set of fights under his belt in the pros, as much championship experience as David Benavidez. David Morrell is a problem. He's a southpaw, sharp southpaw, big, strong, powerful, got a lot of punching power, Cuban school of boxing, all that. So he'd be a tough challenge for David Benavidez, possibly a tough challenge for David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? So, I would love to see what would transpire, win in a fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell. Frankly, that would be a hell of a fight, and I would love to see who would win. That's a fight I would pay through my wazoo to see. I'm not too. That's a good ass fight. I'm saying this because I was seeing the interview between Bill City and Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett was expressing some of the fights he would love to see in boxing. And Greg Hackett and I see eye to eye in the sense that I also agree with Greg Hackett that I don't see Canelo versus Terence Crawford. I don't want to see that fight. Now, I know that Terence Crawford will love to push himself and, challenge himself and all that. I understand all of that, but as to say, oh man, come on. That's 3 ring crosses. That's way too much. That's way too much. That's way too much. That's way too much weight. You're gonna have to move up. Say you're gonna fight. You're gonna fight Canelo. That's just way too much. Just way too much. I don't care what Terence Crawford, what they say and all that. It's too much weight. And it will prove to be, that's going to be the major challenge for Terence Crawford, and he's smaller than Jermell Charlo. He's smaller than Jermell Charlo, man. It's just what it is. He's smaller than Jermell Charlo. Here he got a big heart. He got big heart and everything, but he's smaller than Jermell, man. He's just smaller than Jermell. So I wouldn't want to see that fight. I wouldn't want to see that fight. That's what are you accomplishing? What is Canelo accomplishing by beating up a smaller fighter? And don't tell me he won't beat him up, because he will. The weight class is for a reason. Terence Crawford had to prove to me by going up to 168, fighting a 168 pounder. I don't care if it's Caleb Plant. I don't care who it is. John Ryder, Caleb Plant, whoever. He might have to beat them up and beat them up soundly, probably knock them out, for me to believe that he could do something with Canelo. I'm not convinced. I don't care what Shakur Stevenson say. I don't care what anybody say. Canelo ain't no walk in the park. He ain't no walkover like that. And don't tell me he got Mayweather skills and all of that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that. Mayweather didn't fight Canelo at 168. So I don't care if he has Mayweather skills. I don't care. I wouldn't pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Canelo right now. If Floyd Mayweather was to face Canelo right now at 168, I don't have Mayweather beating Canelo. You crazy? It's too much weight. He's just too big. That's like Mayweather facing Triple G. The excuse was, Triple G's too big. So if Triple G was too big, and Triple G's in no way, shape, or form on the level of a Canelo. Canelo's a way better fighter than Triple G, right? Floyd wouldn't go in the ring at 160 with Triple G. Triple G offered to come down to 154 to face Floyd, which he would have been a skeleton. Floyd would have beaten him easy because Triple G is not small like that. It would weight drain him. If Floyd wouldn't have faced Triple G at 160, right? Why? Oh, why? It's Terrence Crawford thinking. He could just jump up from 147 to 168 and beat Canelo. Forget beat Canelo Alvarez. Just be competitive. Tough. Forget all of that. Just hurt him. Hurt Canelo at 168. That don't happen unless you're using PEDs. It's the only way. Trying to pull a Pacquiao out there. But Pacquiao is using PEDs. You're not gonna beat Canelo any other way. Just not going to. Fully hydrated Canelo. You kidding? Come on, man. Canelo's built like a tank. Okay? He built like a tank. Not beating him. You're not out fighting him and you're not out beating him. Because you'll have to fight him. Because he's not going to respect your power. You have to box him. When he cuts off the ring and he cages you in, he starts wailing on you, what you gonna do? And he will win. He's a boxer. He know how to cut off. He know how to walk a fighter down. Well enough at least to beat on him. Yeah, it's just not a good idea. It's a bad idea. So I respect what Greg Hackett was saying. That's a circus. That's a circus fight. In which Canelo wins, more than likely. And what does that do for Canelo's reputation? Oh, he beat pound for pound fighter. No. It was an unfair fight. The pound for pound fighter had to go up 3 weight classes. Okay? To face Canelo Alvarez. It's an unfair fight. There are limits to the sport of boxing. The limits. I don't buy into Terrence Crawford facing Canelo Alvarez. And I do agree with Canelo. That fight does nothing for Canelo Alvarez. Dick. Nothing. Dish. Okay? But I do want to see Canelo versus David Benavidez. Everybody wants to see that fight. Why is it you have people at 168 you can face, but you're going to pick on a small guy, come up 3 weight classes to face you? You got to be kidding me. You got people at 168 you should be worried about. But you're going to pick on a small guy? It's just like, as Greg Hackett so correctly said, and I agree with him, you're going to pull up Jamal Charlo. You're going to pull him up to 168. I know he fought his last fight at catch weight at 168. But you're going to pull that dude up who hasn't fought at full-blooded 168, right? You're gonna pull that dude up instead of face instead of face a full-blooded 168 pounder, David Benavidez or David Morrell, or even the newly 168 interim champion, what's his name? What the hell is this guy's name? What's his name? The Mexican dude, what's his name? With Golden Boy. Maybe Munguia, right? I don't even want to see him face Jaime Munguia. That's another fight that Benavidez could have. That'd be a good fight. Benavidez versus Munguia, but I don't even prefer Benavidez versus Munguia. Munguia looked good, yeah, but he ain't really a full-fledged 168 pounder in my opinion. I think Benavidez versus Morrell is a better fight. You know, Canelo versus Munguia again. That's David Benavidez versus Canelo. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. And David Benavidez did more than enough to earn his shot at Canelo. And he's the guy that longest Canelo at 168, dealing with 168 pounders, Canelo was ducking it. Okay? So like my boy said, Greg Hackett, it's it's a circus show. All right, I gotta go. It's been running out of battery power, so I'm gonna get it out of here. How much you need? Don't forget you can donate via PayPal. The link is in. Where is it? It may not be in the description, but it will be in the comments. Bus just blew by here at about 65 miles an hour. Alright, man, I'm gonna catch you guys later on. What you need. Peace.